At anywho, the reality is you're going to encounter people online standing in your face talking that shit about how they trying to build with a sister like you, who's real, who's natural, who ain't trying to bring the brother down, and who's holding her brother up, and she's a real queen. That's their favorite thing, a real queen. Well, let me tell you, they done upgraded from queen, because they done started with empress now. And when empress don't get you, goddess gets you. Whatever make your panties wet, that's what they own. And you should know this, because they are indeed predators. They smelled you coming. And they're casting out their net far and wide. They're coming with everything from trying to build with a conscious queen, to trying to live a righteous polygamy, to just, you name it. They need help taking care of their children. Their baby mama is crazy. Baby mama 1, 2, or 3, take your pick. They're in a marriage but we've grown apart, or their queen ain't conscious like you, so forth and so on. You name it, I done probably helped the sister recover from it. And let me tell you, you will end up not only brokenhearted, disappointed, disgusted, sick, sad, pitiful, and sorry, lonely, poor, deprived, depressed, sick, physically and spiritually. Understand that it will be a vital thing for you all to be mindful that you are the only one who can save you. You are the only one who can save you. You are your first and foremost line of defense. Understanding that, if you understand you are your first and foremost line of defense, then you will realize that if you don't take it upon yourself to pay close attention to what you're working with, not only are you going to be sorry, it is going to be increasingly difficult for those of us who can assist you in helping yourself to do so. That means if you don't want to listen, if you know you're experiencing symptoms, but you don't want to hear the disappointing news that someone's telling you when they are telling you the truth, you will make it increasingly difficult for you to save yourself. Sisters, I want you to take a few intense notes, because I'm going to give you 10 critical things you need to pay attention to when dealing with these cultural, so-called conscious vultures. They are looking for you. They are looking to prey upon you, and they will use everything, including your sweet little innocent babies, to get whatever they want from you. And there's no limit, literally no limit, to the lengths they will go to, from playing new daddy to your children, to telling you everything you want to hear, to begging you to have a child with them, to making you feel bad about not marrying them, or pressuring you into marrying them, or worse, playing on the idea that if you earn a place with them, they will marry you because you so desperately want to be married and be able to say, "You's married now, monsieur." These are things you need to pay attention to, and I've made a swift list of 10, so hopefully you're listening. And if this applies to you, get out and get help. Maybe not even in that order, but if you need help getting out, actually take the help. And don't cut off your own nose to spite your face. When somebody's trying to help you, let them. Because if they're anything like me, if you need my help and I'm willing to help you, I'm going to help you help yourself, all the way up to the moment you decide you're not going to help you. And I guarantee you, however you like it, I love it. It won't bother me that you're homeless. It will not bother me that you're hungry. It will not bother me that you're sick. None of that will bother me, because I will be resolved that it was what you chose. I will have offered you my sisterhood, and you have one time to abuse me. Unlike the many times you allow him or them to abuse you, you won't get to take me down that road. Because they get you will not mean they get me. So when someone's offering to help you, you should know that. They got you, but you will not be the bait on the hook to get somebody else. Be mindful. That's a lot of times how sisters get caught up in the bullshit. They will use other sisters to get you. They will use other captives to capture you. So the top of my list is for you to be mindful that a so-called conscious predator is like every other abuser. They take the same steps, they have the same MO, they have the same ultimate goal as every other type of abuser. So if you've educated yourself, and if you've been in this class, you've been educated on the signs of an abuser. So if you don't know those signs, take a moment, look it up. This is basic information. And at this point, that is what the agenda is about. You're not going to tell me you don't have a basic understanding of what the hell is going on around you. The next thing is you have to understand a conscious or so-called conscious predator. Those vultures, they will desire to completely deplete you. Their goal is to deplete you, to keep you emotionally, psychologically, desperately exhausted, too exhausted to really formulate a reasonable thought, to really find your center. By the time one argument has ended and you're barely able to be in the makeup mode, a new argument is brewing. You know, by the time you sort out details of one so-called new situation or arrangement, they throw some other surprise in the mix. They always come with some drama, but it's real subtle drama. They come with a dilemma that needs resolving, and magically you want to help. And don't let your desire to help be the very tool used against you. So if you are constantly exhausted, ooh, the work is so stressful and da 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 da, you might be in the hands of one of these so-called conscious predators. The next thing, they attach your personal self-worth to what you do to contribute to them, their cause, their mission, their group, their family, their children. Your personal self-worth is attached to or measured by how much you contribute to them. Suddenly they start telling you basically, good girl, when you do shit for them, with them. But when you're doing stuff that don't have anything to do with them, there's a criticism for it. You're prioritizing building up the system or holding up something other than them. Understand that. I hope you are writing this down. I hope you're writing this down, because I guarantee if it does not apply to you, it applies to some woman you know right now. Right now, there's a sister on your Facebook page who's going through this very thing. This person or this group of people do not build your personal life or anything about your personal life that is not attached to them. If it's not associated with them, they don't contribute to or in any way build or strengthen anything about you or your life that isn't associated with them. So if this is something that's just dealing with, say, what you're doing to educate your child, and your child ain't in the mix with them, they don't have anything to do with it. You're going for your degree, and they never have anything to contribute or offer in the ways of supporting you through your education or this and the other. They can't so much as give you a suggestion on study materials or anything of that nature. Anything that doesn't have to do with them, they don't contribute to that in your life. They don't in any way build that up. That's a sign. You need to know this is what you're working with. They devalue all areas of your life that are not associated with them. So not only do they not contribute to it, they devalue it. It's not important. It's not relevant. You just doing a part-time commitment to the mission, a part-time commitment to the work. That stuff is not valuable because it doesn't benefit them or him. They got you living in a fog. You feel like you're living in some type of haze or a fog that could be from the weed you're smoking constantly. That's one good source. But you don't see any progress. You don't see any progress or advancement in yourself. You don't see anything that you've accomplished except in their ranks or with them. In all other areas of your life, you can't recognize growth and development, accomplishment that you've done. And the only place you see growth, development, and accomplishment is with him or them, whatever the them or him may be. There is competition in the ranks instead of complementary. You're competing with someone else for a position. It could be a co-wife or sister wife or whatever the hell y'all calling it today. It could be pardon me. At any rate, there's competition in the ranks. You and your sister wives, co-wives, or proposed co-wives, because you might be quote unquote courting, basically auditioning, trying to make the team. You all are competing for time, attention, position, title. This could be in any arena. Any arena. It could be you all have a group that you feel like is a community, and instead of you all working together complementary or compatibly, instead you're competing to be who's going to be the top this, or who's going to be granted a certain title or position of that type of bullshit. You're dealing with a predator because they're keeping you distracted. They seek to attach you to the group via a marriage or children or something, some affair of the heart that you didn't previously have and probably weren't necessarily in the market for. So say you join a group and right off they're trying to stick you with a brother or marry you to somebody that's right there in their group, or trying to convince you to have a new child because you're now part of this group and you want to raise children with maybe their children or something of that nature. They want to attach something that is a permanent fixture in your life to the relevance of their mission, goal, their group activity. Something attached to their group thought has to also be attached on the other end to your heart, your permanent life altering decision. The ninth one is fear. There's a great deal of fear. Fear that could be real or imagined. Fear is a major tactic. Fear of you're going to be alone. Fear that someone's going to harm you. And it don't necessarily mean fear of someone in the group going to harm you. Fear of the boogeyman's going to get you if you're not part of this group. Fear that you're living within a protective hedge. They are your safety. He is your protection. That type of stuff. Fear. And finally, and probably most deadly, complacency. Complacency. Live in the moment. Go with the flow. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't make plans. Live in the now. Be part of the now. And exist on another whole nother realm. Be so focused about what's going on in another realm that you're not worried about or focused on what's happening right here and right now. Complacency is probably the absolute killer for the average sister's potential to recover from a spiritual, so-called conscious vulture. So those are the main 10 things that I would say a woman needs to be mindful of. Now, what do you have to lose? You have everything up to and including your own life, everything up to and concluding the lives of your children, your home, your means of income, your ability to feed yourself, your independence, your freedom of thought, your self-esteem, your self-worth, your sanity, your spiritual equilibrium. All of those things are at risk when you are dealing with a so-called conscious predator. When I tell you there's no limit to what they will cost you, I mean that literally. From sisters turning tricks to sisters churning out babies like a baby making factory, to sisters becoming totally dependent on someone who's totally dependent on getting more people like you in order for you to eat, to sisters literally being sex slaves, to sisters being strung out on drugs and adopting new drug habits, unsafe sex practices, unhealthy affairs of the heart. By the time you bring forth children in a situation like this, it will feel bleak and hopeless, and the way up is going to be so far below sea level that you're not certain that you will survive. So your ability to have good judgment when it comes to protecting your children, that will be gone. That will be gone. You will forever and permanently attach yourself to the ignorance and the shame of your life with a so-called conscious predator if you don't get out and if you don't not make life-altering decisions. Do not make life-altering decisions when you are faced with a cultural vulture.